Hello everyone. Welcome to Magical Stocks channel, where we make trading stress-free. PSE index went down from 7,297.66 last December 17, 2021, to 7,181.86 this December 24, 2021. This performance is equivalent to a minus 1.59% decrease in the index for the week. Our magical stocks, however, went up from 833.02k pesos to 839.33k pesos, or a 0.76% increase in our investment. Overall, our magical stocks profit went up from 132.21k pesos to 138.51k pesos. We will update the 3 batches of magical stocks together with the 6 experimental magical stocks for this week's video. Before we proceed with our update, and if you are interested in investing using our magical stocks or monitoring our system's effectiveness, please like this channel, subscribe and hit the notification button to keep you updated weekly. We concluded the November 2020 experimental magical stocks with a 3.34% gain and a slight gap advantage with the market of 0.11%. We concluded the December 2020 experimental magical stocks with a 7.78% gain and a gap advantage with the market of 7.44%. Let's now discuss the February experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our February experimental stocks. Our top performer is SCC, gaining 71.14%. While the least performer is VLL, losing minus 17.26%. We have one sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting February 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from 5.36% to 3.69%, losing minus 1.67%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from 4.38% to 6.53%, gaining 2.15%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 2.84% this December 24, 2021, coming from minus 0.98% last December 17, 2021. Let's now discuss the March experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our March experimental stocks. Our top performer is TEL, gaining 53.64%, while the least performer is FGen, losing minus 6.78%. We have 2 sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting March 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from 13.39% to 11.59%, losing minus 1.8%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 24.69% to 22.84%, losing minus 1.85%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 11.25% this December 24, 2021, coming from 11.3% last December 17, 2021. Let's now discuss the May experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our May experimental stocks. Our top performer is AEV, gaining 62.59%, while the least performer is MPI but gaining 5.88%. We have 2 sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting May 21, 2021. The PSE index went down from 17.72% to 15.85%, losing minus 1.87%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from 28.29% to 28.84%, gaining 0.55%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 12.99% this December 24, 2021, coming from 10.58% last December 17, 2021. Let's now discuss the June experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our June experimental stocks. Our top performer is TEL gaining 45.6%, while the least performer is MPI losing -1.25%. We have 2 sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting June 18, 2021. The PSE index went down from 6.51% to 4.82%, losing -1.69%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 22.83% to 22.27%, losing -0.56%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 17.45% this December 24, 2021, coming from 16.32% last December 17, 2021. Let's now discuss the August experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our August experimental stocks. Our top performer is MWC gaining 38.89%, while the least performer is MER but gaining 4.55%. We have 1 sell signal in our 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting August 20, 2021. The PSE index went down from 10.02% to 8.27%, losing -1.75%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from 14.1% to 14.55%, gaining 0.44%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 6.27% this December 24, 2021, coming from 4.08% last December 17, 2021. Let's now discuss the September experimental magical stocks performance from December 17, 2021, to December 24, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our September experimental stocks. Our top performer is MEG gaining 9.59%, while the least performer is FGen losing -13.25%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiments trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting September 17, 2021. The PSE index went down from 5.57% to 3.89%, losing -1.68%. The experimental magical stocks, however, went up from 2.71% to 3.34%, gaining 0.63%. The experiment is above the benchmark line, while the index is also above the benchmark line. Our experiment is below the index with a gap of -0.55% this December 24, 2021, coming from -2.86% last December 17, 2021. Here is the worksheet for our 3 batches of magical stocks. Our top performer is P Gold gaining 5.34%, while the least performer is Glow losing -4.71%. We have 1 sell signal for our magical stocks. We already sold our first batch and we were successful by earning 32.78%, which is above our target of 30%. Our second batch is above the market with a gap of 32.44% this December 24, 2021. Coming from 31.79% last December 17, 2021. Our third batch is below the market with a gap of -0.56% this December 24, 2021, coming from -3.98% last December 17, 2021. Our fourth batch is above the market with a gap of 13.98% this December 24, 2021, coming from 11.3% last December 17, 2021. To summarize our investment, the first batch was sold and earned 49,630.94 pesos. The second batch is gaining by 32.15%, coming from 33.1%. The third batch is gaining by 11.38%, coming from 9.77%. The fourth batch is gaining by 17.86%, coming from 16.85%. Overall, with an investment of 700.82k pesos, our investment's current value is 839.33k pesos, equivalent to 19.76% coming from 18.86%. We have profited in our first batch, a gaining second batch, a gaining third batch and a gaining fourth batch. That will be all for the Magical Stocks update this week. Thank you for watching. Next week, we will continue updating the other 3 batches of magical stocks and the other 6 experimental stocks. Quote, buy things that are going up. Sell things that are going down. And when they stop, get out. Unquote. Rob Smith. See you in the following video. Have a great day ahead.